cheese on our plate, ice cream and butter that tastes so great. Choco's growing every day, dairy helps us learn and play. Farmers care for the cows and land, helping communities hand in hand, supporting jobs and families too, feeding the world what they do. They care for the cows and land, pride, helping communities hard and high. From our town to the world we see, dairy builds opportunity. So raise your glass of milk and say, thanks to the farmers every day.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Oregon State University Dairy Farm Virtual Chat. I am Brittany with Discover Dairy, and today we are going to have so much fun. We've got Farmer Larissa and Farmer Caitlin all geared up, waiting on standby to chat with you. We've got some great questions rolling in already. That's awesome to see. And we've got two very cute calves, Miss Ginger and Honey, ready for their close-ups with you. This event is part of the Adopt a Cow program. More than 48,000 classes and 2.1 million students are all part of this program for free, thanks to our generous supporters like the Oregon Dairy and Dairy West and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to all those organizations for making this possible. We know you're really excited and you enjoyed this year and you're probably anxious for next year already, and we are too. Go ahead and mark your calendars because on May 1st, you can already re-enroll for next year's program. You want to go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. And because this is live, we want to hear from you all. So go ahead and drop those comments and questions in that chat for us. We love to see all that energy and where you're joining us. And speaking of that, let's see who some of the first people were to join us today. So let's hop all the way to the top of our chat. And we've got some folks here who are joining us from Sherwood, Oregon. So hello all, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We have some folks from Falls Charter School in Butte Falls. Hello. How are you guys doing today? Let's see. We've got more who are tuning in from Springfield. Hello all and welcome. Let's go down a little bit further here. We have got some folks who are watching from Walterville. Hello and good afternoon. Excited to have you. How about we have Valor Global Online is here. Students from all over the country in Florida, Texas, and Oregon are all joining us today. So hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's do one or two more shout outs at the bottom. We've got a second grade classroom in Eagle Point, Oregon. Hello and welcome. We're so excited to have you. And how about Mrs. Hannah's class in North Plains? Welcome, everybody. Go ahead and keep using that chat. We are excited to highlight some of your questions and answer them with Farmer Larissa and Farmer Caitlin today. And speaking of them, I am so excited to introduce you to both of them. So, hey, Larissa. Hey, Farmer Caitlin. How are we doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so excited to have you all with us. We are excited to meet you, excited to hear how our girls are doing. So, Farmer Larissa, I'm going to let you take it away and give us a little introduction on what's going on today and about you, your role, and the farm.
Hi there, I'm Farmer Larissa. So my role here at Oregon State University is the overall farm manager. So we have lots of Jersey cows here, and we'll probably talk more specific numbers later, but we have all these cows for the purpose of research and teaching, and just caring for them and helping them be a part of this community in Benton County.
That's awesome. And Farmer Larissa, how did you get involved in this position? Because, right, it's not like it's a family farm where most of the farms we usually join with. This is a school farm. So what got you into this position?
I worked here as a student, and I graduated back in 2015 from Oregon State University.
Okay.
And then I went and worked for a commercial dairy for a couple years and then came back here as the herdsman and eventually became a manager.
Wow. That is awesome. I love that. What a full circle opportunity, right? You had an opportunity to learn under another advisor, and then you got some awesome experience outside of the dairy, and then came back and wanted to give to the next generation. I love that
Yeah,
passion. That's awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then Farmer Caitlin, we'd love to hear from you. So yeah, give us who are you and what's your role on the farm?
I'm currently a senior at Oregon State University. I'm studying animal science, and I work here as a milker and also the parlor manager. And I'm also part of our dairy club at OSU. I'm the treasurer currently, and I
Nice.
also help run our Adopt a Cow program.
Cool. I love that. So you said you're a senior. What degree are you pursuing at OSU?
I'm studying animal science, and I also have a minor in ag business.
Okay, very cool. Do you think so is dairy a passion of yours or is it like more of a hobby project? What's dairy in your life mean to you?
It's definitely a newer thing for me. I didn't grow
Yeah.
up in dairy or anything, but I've
Okay.
definitely grown to love it a lot, and I hope to be able to continue in it after graduating.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're thankful that you're willing to share this passion with us and this newfound hobby and passion. Congrats on being treasurer at the OSU Dairy Science Club. That's exciting. And if I remember correctly from Farmer Larissa telling me, you guys are revitalizing that club. So I think that's awesome that you're part of that. And I think it's a great opportunity for anyone that's maybe listening today that's from Oregon or anywhere else across the country. OSU is an opportunity for you. They've got a great dairy science program and, get to do cool things like what Farmer Caitlin's doing today to chat with everyone across the state and share what dairy is all about. So thank you, Farmer Caitlin and Farmer Larissa, for sharing that with us. So, of course, we love getting to know you and love getting to know the farm. But our favorite part this year certainly was those adopted calves. So, if we could kind of shift our camera a little bit to see our girls, and yeah, and see how they're doing. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how big they're getting. So, whoever wants to go ahead, go first, Larissa. I don't know if you want to share about a little bit about them. So what they were born back in September, so we're talking about 7 months old at this point. I know, let's see if I can pull back. When they were born, they were both just barely over 60 pounds. And I know our last update, they were like 320, 330 pounds. So how big do you think they are now?
Ginger here is about 375 pounds,
Oh my
and Honey, she's a little bit of a smaller size Jersey at about 340.
Oh my goodness. So they look very fluffy and fuzzy right now. Is that normal for a cow? It's sometimes I think we think they're nice and shiny and short haired, but they look a little long haired and fuzzy. What's with that?
Yeah, both of these girls still have their winter coats on,
Gotcha.
but they're starting to shed a little bit. So we're gonna get like little sleek summer coats here soon.
Very cool. Oh my, they look really calm. I know you guys were saying that maybe they haven't been on a halter very much lately, but they seem like they've chilled out to hang out with us here, which is awesome. So they look a lot alike, right? So for everyone that's watching today, can you help remind us which one is which? And just if you know anything about their personalities, take some time to talk about, who they are as a calf.
Yeah, of course. So Honey is this one right here. She's a little bit more of a red color. And then
Okay.
Ginger over here is a little bit more of a darker brown color. Honey was just naturally very shy at birth.
Okay.
And she's always been a little bit more on the shy side. Ginger's always been super friendly, in your face, and licking everybody. But then once we started halter training them, we were kind of surprised that their roles changed a little bit. Honey loved the halter training and took to it really well, and that's kind of where we saw her personality start to come out. And
Okay.
then Ginger was a little bit more hesitant to take the halter. I think she wanted to be friendly just on her own without a lead rope involved.
She was comfortable until that rope came out, and then she was like, "I think I like my own freedom. Thank you."
Yeah, yes.
Too funny. So wow, they're over 300, 370 so pounds. They're definitely getting much taller than when we first started. I mean, goodness, when we first started, we had said they were only oh, 29 and 30 inches. The little jerseys are they're so cute and tiny and petite, and they're probably, I think our last update, one of them was already over, Ginger was already over 40 inches. So they're
Hmm.
probably, somewhere around what, 42 inches and maybe 39 inches for Honey. Yeah, definitely growing. What does a
Yeah.
full grown Jersey look like in comparison to them? How much bigger will they get?
Let's see. A full-grown Jersey is probably about here on their top line, so they got some
Wow.
growing to do.
They got to grow into that body. So they're only,
Hmm.
so I know what, they're about 370 pounds. So they're probably only a quarter of their, or maybe a third of their weight right now, and they've got a lot of growing room to make yet.
Yeah, they'll
Awesome.
probably mature at about 1,200 pounds.
Wow, 1,200 pounds. And when you say mature, how old are they when they get to maturity age?
They'll probably have their first calf around 2 years old.
Wow. So that
Yeah.
sounds young, I think, to us, but but they're already old enough to have a baby and be a full-grown adult at 2 years old.
Yeah, they grow much faster than human babies do, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
I would say so. So they are growing big and strong, right? They are, right now we currently have them out in a field just for a pretty background and just focus on them. But where are they normally living right now? And what are they eating currently at this age?
Yeah, so we are actually housing them in the field right on the other side of this gate. So they are currently in the barn and they have free access to both the barn and the field behind you. So
Okay.
they're grazing, and then they also have a TMR that they eat uh, um, just throughout the day if they don't want to go out and graze.
Gotcha. Wow. So they've got
Yeah.
the choice of the smorgasbord out in the field or the smorgasbord of the TMR that's laid out in front of them. Do they have like
Exactly.
a dinner time, or do they get to just kind of eat whenever they want?
Well, they get their breakfast dropped for them at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Wow.
then they have access to that food all day long, 24 hours a day.
Goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they really just could eat whenever they want. That would be really great if I could do that and not gain a ton of weight, right? If I really-
Yes.
that would be awesome. Oh my goodness. So we have some really great questions coming in. I did want to just focus one more thing on what you just said. You mentioned TMR. Can we just
Mm.
explain what that means and how is that made and why is that important?
Yeah, good question. So a TMR is a total mixed ration. So that just means we mix a whole bunch of different ingredients up in a big mixing bowl, and then that mixes all the ingredients together. So it's basically like a giant salad for the cows, and they get to pick through all those yummy ingredients and get all the nutrition that they need. They actually get a diet that is formulated by a professional nutritionist.
Wow. So you're telling me 7-month-old calves have their own nutritionist. Meanwhile, I eat a bowl of cereal out of the fridge, right?
Yes, they are very well fed.
Wow, that is awesome. Clearly well loved, well fed, all for the benefit of just, making sure that they are the happiest and healthiest. That's awesome. So yeah, we've got a ton of questions coming in, Farmer Larissa and Farmer Caitlin. Feel free to just kind of like nod whoever's going to answer, and I'll make sure to have your mics live for you. We've got one question here, just talking about a little bit about friendship, right? Who is Honey's best friend, or and maybe twisting off of that, do you ever see them pal off with another animal? Like, do they tend to have a buddy that they like to hang out with?
Yeah, I think that since Ginger and Honey have been going through the Adopt a Cow program, they've been very friendly with each other. I see them
Aw.
together most of the time. Larissa might be able to tell more if there's any other friendship. She's here a lot more than I am, so.
That's awesome. Very cool. Let's see. All right. Oh, this is a good question. So we're curious, what do they do all day, right? We're asking specifically what's Honey's favorite thing to do, but we're curious, what do these girls do all day?
They're grazing a lot right now, spending a lot of time out in the field. Before this, they were just running around a lot, and that was really funny to watch. They lie down a lot. They like to sleep.
Wow. So they eat, they sleep, They hang out with their herd mates. They might poop a little, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna do some basic cow things, and that's about it. That's awesome. Oh, interesting question. We were talking about their fur, their coat, their hide earlier. We're curious, what does that feel like? Can you kind of describe, is it coarse? Is it soft? I see you kind of touching it, Farmer Larissa. How would you describe it to someone who's never touched a cow before?
Good question. I would say it's very soft.
Oh,
So probably even softer than most of your dogs or maybe similar to cat fur if any of you guys have pets at home. But they're very, very soft. And then in the summer, when they get their summer coat, it's a lot more sleek and silky feeling. But right now they're really fuzzy and soft.
oh, that's awesome. Very cool. All right, let's see. Another great question. We were talking about food, we were talking about TMR, but we're curious. Can you help us understand, like, just truly how many pounds of food can a cow eat in one day? And we can talk about a full-grown cow, right? We probably know that a little bit easier. So, what does a full-grown cow eat in a day?
A full-grown cow, a Jersey cow, probably eats about 80 to 100 pounds as fed a day. So that's the total weight that they eat, including the water in their diet.
Holy moly. I
Yeah,
can't even imagine eating that much food, Farmer Larissa.
it's
That's
a
very
lot of food.
impressive. Yeah, that really is.
These girls might be eating closer to about 30 pounds a day right now.
Okay. All right. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Well, they're a third of the weight, so they're going to eat a third of the food. So that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Awesome. Let's see. Another great question that came in. We're curious. This is specifically about honey, but again, it can be about both of them. When will you start to milk honey? When will she start producing milk?
Well, we will breed honey and ginger at about 14 months old. And then about 9 or 10 months later, when they have their baby, is when they'll start lactating or producing milk. And then we will start running them through the parlor. So they'll become milking cows at about 2 years old.
Awesome. Very cool. I love that. So 2 years old, starting to produce milk. And then how long will they produce milk for? Like how long is a typical life expectancy of a cow?
The cows live anywhere from like 7 to 10 years old typically.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, they'll produce milk for, anywhere from 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And as we
Yeah.
talked about, right, they're mature at 2 years old. So I think I've heard before one human year or one cow year is about equivalent to 10 human years. So if they're 8 years old, then they're about 80 years old in human years, that's an old cow. She lives to be 10
Yeah.
years old. That's awesome.
Yes.
All right. I know it might be tricky. We were just curious if the camera can attempt to get a smidge closer to the girls. I know they might try to like dash, but if she can walk just a little closer to them, that'd be awesome. So we can get some close-ups of them. Yeah, she can get right up on them if they let her. That's awesome. While we answer some more questions. So we're curious, how many cows do you have at the farm total? Cows, dry cows, heifers, calves, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we have about 100 milking cows at a time and about 20 dry. So we have 120 milking cows total. And then we have about 90 heifers, which heifers are just cows that haven't calved before. That
Okay.
includes Ginger and Honey. They're both heifers.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good number of animals to keep track of. So, speaking of that, right, we can see as we got up close to these ladies that they've got tags in their ears. We're curious, is that how you keep track of them? Like, how do you keep track of all of those cows to make sure you're keeping eyes on them and making sure they're all happy and healthy?
Yeah, we have record keeping systems that we enter their ID number. So that's really the only purpose of their numbers. And then we use their names to actually keep track of and get to know the cows. So we can, recognize the cows by their names, but then track their information by their number.
Yeah.
And we have record keeping systems, and we also have activity monitors for the older milking cows, and we monitor their health that way as well.
Wow. So hold on a minute. You just said they have health trackers, so it's like a Fitbit that you can
Yes, exactly.
track what they're doing, and it tells you when they've stood too much or not enough or anything like that.
Yes. Yes, it tracks their temperature and their activity and then how well they're digesting their food.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That really does help give you a full picture of how that animal is doing. So is that how, maybe that helps you know if someone's not feeling so good, or what are some signs that you can see, maybe if a cow's not feeling well, and how do you help them get better?
Yeah, depending on what might be wrong, we can use the activity monitors to determine.
Mhm.
It will let us know if they have an increased temperature or reduced activity, just they're not feeling well and
Oh,
laying around a little more, or if maybe
yeah.
they have reduced water intake. A lot of times, if they're not feeling great, they won't eat as well, just like a
Mhm.
human. So
Sure.
they just might have some reduced digestion as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, those are great cues to be able to make sure that we're giving them the best care, right? Awesome.
Yes.
So I think Ginger is maybe showcasing this, but they're curious if they have a favorite treat at all that they like to eat the most.
Yes, their favorite treat is ground corn for sure. They always come into
Ah.
the barn for treats. When they're out on pasture most of the day, and how we got them inside the barn today is I just walked out to pasture and then I called them all in. They all know when they get called in from pasture that they get a little treat of ground corn.
Aha. So there's always a
Yes,
little incentive, right? They hear
yes.
you, they come running. I think I might get some treats. We actually had someone curious of like how hard is it to wrangle a cow and bring one in. So it sounds like, you use a little bit of an incentive, bring them in with
Yep.
some grain and then put the halter on just so that way we can have some quality time with them. Awesome.
Yes, and of
Very
course
cool.
they get their pets too, which they enjoy.
They're not spoiled, are they, Farmer Larissa? No.
Just a little bit.
I love that. Oh, a good question. So they were curious. Do do they all have names? Like, right, where we've got to meet Ginger and Honey, but are all the animals named on the farm? And Caitlin, if you want to answer that, go for it.
Few that don't have them on their tag, but we do have a name. They all get names when born. We just get to vote on the name. A lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. So it's all part of the students that are working there. You all get to be part of who gets named what. And is there ever any rhyme or reason to why certain names are picked? Like, do you pick family names, or is it just whatever you're feeling for that day?
We go through themes. So right now we're doing wild animals. So and we go through the alphabet. So there was an A. I think we ended up with aardvark. And then we just go by leather and vote for different names through there.
Oh, that's so much fun. I love that aardvark. I really hope when aardvark gets to be a grown mature cow, you see her in the pasture, like, come here, aardvark. There's something about that just sounds really cute. Oh my goodness. Let's see. We're gonna try and get one more question in here before we tune off today. I can't believe our time has already flown by. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. So we had someone curious, right? We see that they're on halters. They're doing great for us right now, but they're curious, how long does it take to halter train a cow, right? It's similar to training a dog, I would assume, or a horse if you're having them on a bridle or anything like that. Like, what does that process look like to work on training a cow on a halter?
It takes a lot of treats. We started halter training Ginger and Honey a few months ago, and definitely took a lot of treats at first, get them comfortable and okay with the halter actually being on them. But
Sure.
after a while, they caught on pretty quickly and they do pretty well. They have a little bumps along the way, but they've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, and I guess maybe we should help those who are, curious about like why even halter train them, right? So I mean, they're going to get to be really big eventually, and you still have to be able to manage them. And so being able to just have that relationship with them and making sure that you can bring them close if they ever need care or need shots or anything like that. So it's really great to be able to have that relationship with them. Is that explaining it well, Farmer Caitlin? Is that, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much to everyone that's been sharing amazing questions. I wish we had time to get to them all. There is a whole list of them yet. You guys are fantastic in this chat today. Farmer Larissa and Farmer Caitlin, I do have one more question for you both as we wrap up. I'm curious, what's your why? Why did both of you choose to kind of do what you're doing, right? This isn't like it's a family tradition. So I know, Larissa, you had said that you worked here and you came back, but like, what was that ultimate reason for wanting to come back and be the manager at the dairy. So we'll have Larissa go first, and then Caitlin, if you want to share, why did you choose the dairy as a place to work? So.
Yeah, so I chose to go into the dairy industry mainly because I kind of found my passion in cattle and loved cattle. But the plus about dairy is you get to see them raised from babies and see them all throughout their whole lives. And
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting to see them have their own babies and see their babies be raised. So it's kind of like a whole family line here. And I also just absolutely love the fact of this job specifically, getting to work with and educate students. That's how I found my passion for the dairy industry, was just working as a student. So getting to introduce other students to that world and also provide more employment into the dairy industry is really exciting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then how about you, Farmer Caitlin? What was your why for choosing the dairy as a career?
Yeah, I mean, I also love the cattle and I also love dairy products. So I love being able to put my work into providing that to our community.
Yeah. I totally agree with you there, right? I'm very thankful for you all as dairy farmers to be able to produce that delicious, nutritious product that we all absolutely love to enjoy. Thank you so much for your dedication to the dairy industry for both of you. I know, this was a choice to be here today and to choose to take care of Ginger and Honey, and provide that healthy, wholesome product. So thank you to both of you so much for your time and energy that you put into to taking care of them. Is there anything else you wanted to share before we tune off today?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right. Well, today really was an amazing farm visit. Thank you so much to both of you for this awesome opportunity to meet with Honey and Ginger. And of course, thank you all for all the classrooms and the teachers and the students, for joining us today and for asking such great questions. Really, and bringing just so much excitement to that chat today. We really are excited and thankful that you were able to join us. We hope you had fun learning about what life is on the farm and seeing your adopted calves grow throughout the year. If you love this experience, and you want to join that fun again next year, go ahead, mark your calendars for May 1st when Adopt a Cow enrollment opens up. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. We would absolutely love to have you in the program again next year. So, from all of us at Discover Dairy and the OSU Dairy, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we hope to see you again soon.